How very kind of you.
Perhaps I may further assist.
Oh, no, thank you. I have several more pieces, so I shall require a porter. We've met somewhere before, of course.
I do not think so, unfortunately. I am not an envious man, sir, but on this occasion.
I trust you had a comfortable journey from Constantinople, Lady Fothergill.
No, I did not. Running the Fraser steamship line is far less wearying on body and soul than being one of its passengers. I shall require a ship's boiler to wash the soot.
I must apologize for requesting your immediate return, my lady.
Not at all, Dunwoody. I was becoming bored with attending endless receptions and giving countless dinners to... Oh, never mind. Your cable was almost a relief. If we had to have a financial crisis, then it couldn't have come at a better time. Be careful. Some of those things are fragile.
Mr. Onedin, the builder called again. That Mr. Garside.
What does he want now?
He's found another window that needs replacing.
And tell him to replace it.
We thought that in view of the roof and the upstairs floors, you'd be worried about the mounting expense.
Oh, damn the expense. Mrs. Gibson, you know as well as I do, she wanted the place properly maintained.
That were her last request. God bless her.
3 months. You know, coming into the house just then, still half expect to hear a call.
Well, I'll tell Mr. Garside to get on with it then.
Aye.
You haven't forgotten your appointment with that Mr. Borovich, have you?
No, I have not. Such a convenience, they told me. So far, it's been now but an inconvenience. James Onedin speaking. Oh, hello, Samuel, it's you. What the devil do you mean?
We had yet another argument. She left the house yesterday afternoon.
You mean to say that for nigh on 24 hours you've done naught? She is still your wife, you know.
I don't need a lecture from you at this moment, thank you, Uncle.
Damn it, boy. For all you know, she could be lying in the gutter.
I had thought you might wish to help me look for her. I might have known I'd be wasting my time. Good day to you, Uncle.
Now, listen here, you young whip. Right. Tell Mr. Borovich that he'll have to wait.
But how long will you be?
I had a clerk bring over the accounts, together with the most recent balance sheet.
Oh, please, later, Mr. Dunwoody. I haven't recovered yet from what you've told me about my nephew, Samuel. How could he do such a thing?
Well, my lady, he is the trustee of Master Robert's money, and...
My son left £25,000 to Robert, and Samuel has invested £15,000 of that in Fraser Line shares.
Oh, but as trustee and guardian, he does have the right to call in and reinvest that money.
He knew full well those shares gave me a majority holding. I know. Samuel is an Onedin, and business is business.
To buy back those shares, you will need £15,000, my lady.
Well, I shall go to the bank. They've never refused me in the past.
If you recall, even before you left for Turkey, the bank informed us that you had borrowed to what they termed the final limit.
Yes, well, we all know about banks and their final limits.
I really do feel that you should cable to Sir Daniel for financial assistance.
No. Sir Daniel has his hands full without me worrying him. And in any case, as far as the Fraser line is concerned, I stand on my own 2 feet.
Where the devil have you been? And what do you think you're doing down here on the docks of all places? You know full well you're not supposed to come
Samuel,
down.
will you please leave me alone?
No, I'll be damned if I will. Now you're coming home with me.
You call that a prison of silence home?
Charlotte.
For the last time, Samuel, I'm not coming home with you.
And I say you are. I've had my fill of your tantrums. Now, come along, old.
That's quite enough of that, Samuel.
Charlotte is my wife. I'll not have her making a scene in public.
Seems to me the boot was on the other foot. All right, I'll deal with this.
Uncle, I'm sure you mean well, but you must appreciate my position. At this moment, I can't afford to let so much as a breath of scandal become...
I know all about your ambition, Samuel. You're so keen to get rid of Charlotte. I suggest you leave us alone.
I was also concerned for her safety.
Aye. Well, I'll take care of her now.
As you wish. Good day to you, Uncle.
Understand you've been out all night.
Aye?
Where'd you go?
I just walked. I wanted to be alone. To think.
Wandering about on your own? Damn it, anything can happen. Any road you're safe. Children have been asking after you.
Well, they'll have to get used to being without me. Father. The court. I don't think I can face it.
Hey, I'll be there. I know what you're going through, but I'll be there to take care of you.
Thank you, Father. I think without you...
No. Put it out of your mind. Come on. Let's go home.
Mr. Onedin will be surprised. He's in the garden with a foreign gentleman.
Mrs. Gibson, how has he been?
Oh, he's borne it very well. Very well indeed, but it's the impatience and the ill temper. And me having to pretend that I don't know how much he misses her.
I knew it was diphtheria, but James didn't tell me the exact circumstances in his letter.
She caught it from the children.
In the children's home.
She would insist on nursing them herself, and she hadn't the strength. She'd been working that hard, you see, getting money together to raise the new home, the old one being burnt down. More children coming in every day. Well, not just orphans, but children from families who couldn't afford to feed them. There's so many out of work, my lady. You'd never believe how many.
Then for her sake, Mrs. Gibson, we must make sure that that home stays open.
Miss Charlotte's in there.
Aunt Elizabeth!
Who are you?
What a surprise. Father said you wouldn't be here for 3 or 4 days.
Oh, did he? Well, he probably thought I was coming home on one of his ships.
How long will you be staying?
For quite some time. How is Samuel?
The case comes to court on the 24th.
So he is going ahead with the divorce.
He says it'll be the best for both of us in the end. But it's the children I'm worried about.
Oh, but surely they won't allow the children to be taken from you.
Oh, they'll insist on it if Samuel has his way. I'm the guilty party. So they'll give him custody of both Anne and Robert. Yes. And Robert. William's son. Your grandson.
I hear your Aunt Sarah's gone off on a cook's tour of the world.
Yes. No doubt to ensure that she's away long enough to escape the shame of her son's divorce.
We used to tell him he had enough ambition for an army of Napoleons. And now, he walks in his garden, in the snow. Poor James. I shan't wait. I've so much to do. Tell your father I'll be at home this evening, Charlotte. It's very odd, but that man with your father, he helped me with my luggage. I know I've seen him before somewhere.
Black Sea, eh? You want a sailing ship, small but faster. So what's your cargo, Mr. Burovich?
There is none, just 2 passengers. Myself and one other.
Just who is this other passenger?
I can't tell you that.
He could be a wanted man.
I'm asking you to do nothing illegal.
Well, I've only your word for it. You're a stranger to me.
You will know, my fellow passenger, when he boards your craft. You will know him. Until that time, I can tell you nothing. I would like you, Mr. Onedin, to be our shipmaster.
Oh, that's out of the question. You see, my daughter needs me at the present time.
Then I shall want your most reliable captain.
Well, there is one little consideration that you've made no mention of as yet.
I assure you there will be no danger to your crew or your ship.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of the danger. I was thinking of the fare for you and your shy fellow passenger.
£3,000 for 2 passengers?
Aye. I could have asked for more, but you know me. I'm not a greedy soul.
Who is this other passenger?
A man that wants the best that money can buy. You need a reputation for service and comfort.
What are you after, James?
After?
Well, you come here blowing your trumpet and unrolling your virtues like a carpet salesman.
Sister, I've come here to welcome you home. And to apologise for being engaged on business when you called. That dress, that the latest fashion?
Yes, in Turkey.
Turn a few heads in Liverpool.
James, I do apologise for that letter of mine. It was so formal. But I was so shocked at the time, I couldn't express what I really felt about Letty.
I understand. She was a good woman. Never thought of herself, only of others. I think myself fortunate to have shared some of my life with her. I'm sorry to hear you lost your majority holdings in the Fraser line.
You know, Samuel is responsible.
Yes. Yes, I do.
You'll never forgive him for this divorce, will you, James?
He's getting too big for his britches, yeah. You know he's put himself up for president of the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, but he's far too young. And what about the divorce?
Oh, well, proceedings don't start until 4 days after they elect the new president, so we're not talking too loudly about the divorce.
It's very generous of you, James. No, really, I mean it.
Well, I wouldn't stab a man in the back. I mean, not even Samuel. Elizabeth, since Letty died, I've been thinking matters over. Now, there's a cold wind blowing for you.
Very cold.
And, well, neither of us is getting younger.
Thank you.
Now, the new lease on your office, that's up for renewal.
Yes, it is.
And mine's too small.
Are you suggesting that we share an office?
We'd cut our overheads.
Aye, and each other's throats before a week was out.
No, I'm not just thinking about new offices. I'm thinking about an amalgamation.
The Fraser line and the Onedin line.
Working together.
You've always hated steamships.
Aye, well, I wouldn't let that stand in the way of profits. Look, when we're doing badly, we could help each other out, and when we're doing well, we wouldn't have to turn business away. I've written down some of my proposals, eh? Now, I've bought some new premises. Suit us down to the ground. All I'm asking is, think about it.
Liverpool 5? Who is that? Mrs. Gibson. What, right away? Yes, of course, I'll tell him, Mrs. Gibson. Thank you. Goodbye. A man from London has just called quite unexpectedly and wants to talk to you.
Oh?
On behalf of Her Majesty the Queen.
So what does the Foreign Office want with me, Sir Gerald?
Ah, straight to the point, eh? Very well, to business. Naturally, Mr. Burovich didn't tell you who his fellow passenger was.
No doubt you've come to tell me.
For the past week, he's been the guest of Her Majesty the Queen. You'll be aware, of course, of the recent dastardly business in Bulgaria. Prince Alexander being forced to abdicate. Russian fiends. Her Majesty's own words. Now the Russians want to appoint a puppet to do their bidding. What the Bulgarian people themselves want, now that the prince would dearly like to know, obviously. And at first hand, of course.
So my passenger is to be,
His Imperial Highness, Prince Alexander.
And, This, Mr. Burovich, who's he?
The Prince's equerry.
Tell me, why the Onedin line?
It was considered best to approach one of the smaller shipping lines. Thank you. Not too well known, you understand, but reliable.
Oh, thank you.
Her Majesty's government knows nothing of this venture, of course. You do understand me?
The Russian fiend.
Exactly.
What is Her Majesty's opinion of this brave venture?
Oh, she thinks it foolhardy, and you're a shrewd man, Mr. Onedin.
Yes. But what is it exactly that you want of me?
The Prince's return to Bulgaria has been denied emphatically. Unfortunately, so emphatically that the fiends will be watching every port like hawks. You see, it would be a heaven-sent opportunity to be rid of Alexander for good. Now, Her Majesty and her government rely on you to keep a sharp watch on your vessel before she sails, and to take rather special care of your royal passenger.
Around town it's all the same. With pot, I rose to flame. I'm the darling of the barmaids. Champagne cherry has been up. What is it you want?
Just a word. I'm going to make you a rich man, Davy Clay. £50 now and £50 when you get back to port. Buy a lot of grog with all that money. Couldn't you, Davy?
£100? What is it you want me to do?
Welcome aboard, sir.
What's all this?
I was just practicing for the passengers.
Passengers? I've been told nothing about passengers. Now you get your working togs on. We sail on the tide.
Mr. Onedin says I was to look
You
smart.
heard. What's all this about passengers? I like to be told when I got passengers. I mean, a master likes to prepare himself, and you sent no word at all of the cargo.
There is no cargo.
No cargo? Not even stiffening?
No, she's in ballast. Just 2 passengers. So, nice, easy trip.
I'm surprised you're not coming with us.
Charlotte needs me at the present time.
One whole ship and just 2 passengers? What have I got, a couple of kings?
Not quite.
James, I've been looking all over for you. Now, about these proposals of
The
yours.
amalgamation, you mean?
I've given it a good deal of thought.
Oh,
and
just a moment, Elizabeth. I've got to see me passengers on board.
Rasputins, I said! Put them on! Get on with it!
James, I've just realised who your passenger is.
And keep it to yourself.
No, I mean Mr. Burovich. I knew I'd seen him somewhere before, and I've just realised where it was. Seeing the prince just now reminded me of Daniel's remark. It was in Constantinople at the Russian embassy. Burovich was a guest there. Daniel thought how odd it was that Burovich was on such friendly terms when the prince himself was so violently opposed to the Tsar.
Captain Baines, delay sailing for an hour, will you?
Why?
I'm coming with you.
You promised you'd be in that court with me.
I know I did, lass. Believe me, the last thing in this world that I want to do is to break that promise.
But it won't stop you doing it.
Luke, I've let you down. I know how you feel. If I could put this voyage off, I would.
Well, then put it off. Father, I need you in the court with me.
Oh, if only I could. It's important that I sail.
If it's that important, then tell me why.
I can't. I've been sworn to secrecy.
But I was foolish enough to believe that for once you were behaving like a proper father.
Surely you understand, Elizabeth. If the prince's life is in danger, I'm responsible for his safety. Damn it, it's practically a royal command. Will you be in court with her? Look after her, for me.
All square now, Captain. Keep a sharp eye out for Russells, eh?
Russians?
The Russian ship.
Everyone knew but me, the master. I mean, the carpenter even, that work on a special chair for the prince.
And you say the mate recognized him when he came aboard?
The mate was 3 months in the Black Sea ports this year. Prince Alexander's likeness everywhere and talking to no one else. You know, it's hard to believe. Him behind that door, Prince Alexander of Battenberg. Now there's a man to admire.
Look, let's not make too much fuss about him. As far as we're concerned, he's just another passenger.
Just another passenger, eh? Oh, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Captain. His Highness will dine in his cabin.
Huh. Well, it's a pity that, because I had a little speech of welcome all prepared.
The Prince has much on his mind at the moment. It is an anxious time for him. He wonders if the Bulgarian people have lost faith in him since his abdication.
Oh, the Bulgarians understand it was the Tsar who forced him to abdicate.
They could also believe that the Tsar acted in the best interests of the Bulgarian people.
Are you a Bulgarian, Mr. Borovich?
Yes, I am. Zdravi.
Cheerio.
So, Mr. Onedin, you decided to sail with us after all.
Something were to happen to the prince while on board one of my ships, it wouldn't do me company much good.
Mr. Borovich, you're not saying that the Bulgarian people want a Russian cat's paw as king?
They could believe that to be preferable to a ruler who is too headstrong.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Borovich, huh?
My life is dedicated to the service of His Highness.
Not much of an answer if you don't mind me saying so. Do you think His Highness should rule again?
I think His Highness was foolish to quarrel with the Tsar.
What did they pay you, Davy Clay? £50. And another 50 when it's done. When he gets back to port, if the job is done. Well, accidents do happen, even to princes. That's right, Davy. They paid me the same. £50 and another 50 when it's done. Clever, huh? 2 men. They knew one man would ruminate too much.
Won't you come this way, Your Highness? You have the coffin make it up for you, Your Highness.
Okay.
Have you seen the prince?
What do you mean you've looked everywhere? You can't have done it.
But I have, sir. So if he's not in his cabin...
No, he is not. Come on, let's search again. Stand to stir. Damn it. Must be somewhere. This is a sailing ship. Not a circus. Nor a monkey house.
Please, sir, please, you insult your own queen. They are related.
Swinging from the foot ropes.
Do you not understand?
I'm not here to understand him. I'm here to keep him from his grave.
That is my task.
Well then, damn well do it.
The prince has a mind of his own. He likes to test his courage, and being suddenly freed from the burdens of state...
He puts as much as 1 foot on my rattlings, and I'll clap him in irons. You'll be safe enough there.
You'll have to kill me first.
I'll do that, if necessary. At least I'll sleep easy at night.
Explain what you meant by that.
I don't trust you.
For what reason?
Call it a seaman's instinct.
Your action in selling those shares was deceitful and utterly despicable. I have to find £15,000 to buy them back, and the bank won't lend me the money.
Why not?
Because I've borrowed to the hilt on my new steamship.
Well, I could lend you the money.
Oh, that's quite ridiculous, you lending me the money to buy back the shares that you sold.
Well, I came here to ask you to do something for me, but, under the circumstances...
You want my support, don't you? They're electing the new president of the Chamber of Commerce next week.
Yes, they are.
Yes, James thought you'd ask.
Oh, I see. So he's killed my chances.
As a matter of fact, it was your uncle who suggested we all shun talk of the divorce proceedings until after the election of the new president. You want me to lobby for you in whatever way I can?
Yes. You see, it's my age that's chiefly against me. Obviously, I'm too young.
I can, in all honesty, say you are wise beyond your years, Samuel.
Thank you, Aunt Elizabeth. Well, I must go. I have a great deal to do today.
Samuel, about that £15,000...
Oh, yes, of course, yes. I'll work out the interest and let you have the money this afternoon.
Interest?
Well, of course. When I sold the shares, I invested the money in my mills, so drawing it out, I shall be losing, obviously.
You charge me interest?
Oh, I'm simply asking you to share in my loss, that's all.
Your loss? None of that money is rightfully yours. Those shares are Robert's. Bought with the money William left for his son.
Oh.
Or is that why you sold them? To deny him the security left him by his father?
Yes, I know he's here, Gladys, when I saw his carriage outside. Aunt Elizabeth, you hadn't forgotten that we were to go shopping together today?
Good day, Aunt Elizabeth. Morning, Charlotte.
Which man is it?
Davy Clegg, sir.
Damn the man.
And he can't even swim, sir. Shall we lower a boat?
Not until we find him. It's time we turn about. Down 10 times over.
The prince has gone in after him, sir.
Damn fool!
Sharp eye for an assassin. Man doesn't need one. Do the job himself.
Over there.
Three cheers for lads!
From now on, aside from his cabin, he goes nowhere on this ship without an escort.
I think I realize why you came along on this trip. Mr. Barovich.
Go on.
Well, his face when they pulled the prince and Davy out of the water. No relief, no pleasure, nothing.
His Highness is sneezing. I have advised him to take to his bunk.
Oh, good. Now we can all get some sleep.
Davy, you took in a bit too much seawater yesterday, eh?
Giving away a shipmate. That's not out and above water, is it, Captain? But with the prince being such a fine and a true man, a man above men, you might say. What am I to do, Captain?
All right, then. You tell me a little bit about that block and tackle, eh?
Did he say who paid him the £50?
A man he'd never seen before. A London man, he thinks.
A London man?
A Russian London man, of course. Only the Russians want to provoke a war.
You said you deal with the mate.
Indeed, I did.
Russian or English? I wonder who told the London man of the Prince's voyage. Only you and I knew of it.
Helmsman, Captain, keep a sharp eye and tell me if you see anything untoward happen.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Mr. Mate, I got something for you.
What's that then, Captain?
Well, did you see anything untoward, Helmsman?
No, Captain. I didn't see nothing.
Right, well, I'll take the wheel. You go get another man and put the mate in irons.
Beg your pardon, Captain?
You heard.
A ship off the starboard quarter!
Here. He's a Russian, all right.
May I take a look? You think she carries cannon?
It's a telescope, Your Highness, not a crystal ball.
Captain.
I am the owner. Captain Baines there is the master.
The only way to deal with them is to call their bluff.
If you'll forgive me, Your Highness.
Yes?
If you really are their quarry, they won't be bluffing. They'll board the ship and take you prisoner.
The devil they will. Captain!
Your Highness?
Turn your boat around. We go to challenge the Russians. To ram them if necessary.
The devil you will.
Please, be silent.
You are a very important passenger on board my ship. But I'll be damned if I'll see you blown up just so that you can thumb your nose at the Tsar. Captain Baines, I've seen enough of that Russian. Crowd on some sail. That's sure a clean pair of heels.
Right, sir.
We've lost her astern!
If your men could row us to the riverbank.
Of course.
From there, the prince and I can make our own way.
This General Zaroff is to take you to Sofia?
Yes, he owns the hunting lodge.
How far is it from the riverbank?
Only a matter of a few hundred meters. Well, gentlemen, I thank you both for your diligent attention to our needs and for your concern for the prince's safety. Good night.
Good night. Well, our responsibility for His Highness is almost over. A right royal headache, eh?
You know, I've never set foot on Bulgarian soil before. Think I might go just as far as the riverbank.
I said I would fight. Yet when it came to it, I offered not a word in my own defense. I can go and see the children, can't I?
Of course you can.
Whenever I want.
No one said you couldn't.
I don't know why I'm so concerned about them. If they were that bit older, they'd be proud of us. Their father, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and their mother, a divorced woman. It does have that certain allure.
From Samuel.
Samuel?
Dear Aunt Elizabeth, I have decided not to lend you the money to buy back those shares. Since you made me feel such an utter villain for disposing of them, I intend to buy them back myself and restore them to the trust in Robert's name. Your ever loving nephew. What a family we are.
I would like to thank you and to say farewell.
Oh, not quite yet, Mr. Borovich. My commitment ends when the prince sets foot on Bulgarian soil. I owe that to my queen.
You stay with the boat?
This lodge where you're to meet General Tsar, huh? I thought you said it was close to the river.
Yes, it is beyond the trees.
Well, they must have seen us arrive. Why isn't anybody here to meet us?
I will say farewell, Mr. Onedin.
Oh, we'll walk with you to the lodge.
That won't be necessary. Your task is done.
Oh, just for the pleasure of your company.
Captain Fraser!
James, the boy!
Captain Fraser! Help me!
Who are they? They're expecting only the prince and myself. Perhaps they fear the trap.
You have not answered the question. Who are they?
They are here to take His Highness to the Tsar.
Borovich, have you betrayed me? Moses?
Nay, no. Your Highness, you don't understand. The people have lost faith in you. Your only hope to rule again is to ask the help of the Tsar.
They're here to kill him. We all know that.
His Highness won't be harmed. They gave me the word.
Their word.
They tried to kill him on the ship, didn't they?
English sailors, paid with English money. Onedin, this is no longer your concern.
That boy is our concern, and if they harm one hair of his head...
Look.
His purpose is plain enough. They want to trade Tom for His Highness. Now what do we do?
You still say they mean the prince no harm?
None.
You're telling me that if he were to walk to the hunting lodge on his own, they wouldn't kill him?
No, they would not.
How do we know that you're not leading him to his death? You have betrayed him.
No. What I have done is for his good. I have always been loyal to him, and I always will be. But I am also a Bulgarian.
So you're trying to serve two masters?
I am doing what is best for my country and what is best for His Highness. My life is devoted to his.
Then you would risk your life to see him safe, huh?
No! No! He's alive. What happened?
Your Highness, will you go on to Sofia?
No. Borovich was right. My days as a king are over. I think I knew it before I left England. Poor Borovich. To die for a cause is a fine thing. But to die for a lost cause.
Your Highness, we can't just leave you here. I mean, where will you go?
They think I'm dead, so I shall be safe enough. From here, I go on alone. My thanks to you, Mr. Onedin. To you, Captain.
I wish you a safe journey.